In the heart of a serene meadow, where wildflowers danced with the rhythm of the gentle breeze, there lived a young firefly named Lumen. The meadow was a tapestry of colors, violets, blues, and golds, painting a picture so enchanting that even the stars envied its beauty. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the sky blossomed into shades of pink and orange, slowly giving way to the deep indigo of night. Lumen had a light that was different from the other fireflies. While most of his peers flickered with bright, steady glows that could pierce the darkest shadows, Lumen's light was soft and subtle, like the faint shimmer of the moonlight on a quiet pond. He often found himself gazing up at the evening sky, his tiny body perched atop a dew-kissed leaf, wondering why his glow wasn't like the others. One evening, as the first stars began to twinkle, Lumen fluttered his delicate wings and took flight. The air was filled with the sweet scent of jasmine and the soft chorus of crickets singing their nocturnal melodies. Lumen's best friend, a cheerful firefly named Spark, zoomed up beside him, his light flashing brightly. "Hey, Lumen," Spark called out with a cheerful tone. "Are you ready for the Luminary Festival tonight? Everyone's been practicing their brightest flashes." Lumen sighed softly, his glow dimming ever so slightly. "I'm not sure, Spark," he replied, his voice barely above a whisper. "My light isn't as bright as yours or the others." "What if I can't keep up?" Spark hovered closer, his eyes filled with understanding. "Don't worry about that," he said reassuringly. "The festival is about celebrating all our lights, no matter how bright or gentle they are." Just then, a group of young fireflies zoomed past them, their lights flickering like lively fireworks. One of them, a boisterous firefly named Blaze, circled back to tease Lumen. "Better watch out, Lumen," Blaze said with a smirk in his voice. "Wouldn't want you to get lost in the dark with that tiny glow of yours." The other fireflies chuckled as they flew off, leaving Lumen feeling even smaller than before. Spark frowned, his light flashing in irritation. "Don't listen to them," he said firmly. "They just don't understand." Lumen forced a small smile. "It's okay, Spark. Maybe they're right. Maybe I should sit this one out." As dusk deepened into night, the meadow transformed into a wonderland of lights. Fireflies gathered from every corner, their glows illuminating the air like countless stars brought down to earth. Lumen watched from a distance, perched on a tall blade of grass, his heart heavy with doubt. Suddenly, he felt a gentle touch on his wing. Turning, he saw a wise old firefly named Aurora, whose light glowed with a soft amber warmth. "Why are you not joining the festivities, young one?" she asked in a kind, mellow tone. Lumen hesitated before replying. "I don't think my light is bright enough to be part of the festival. Everyone else shines so brilliantly, and mine is barely noticeable." Aurora smiled gently. "Come with me," she beckoned. They flew together to the edge of a tranquil pond that mirrored the star-studded sky above. The water was as smooth as glass, and the reflection of the heavens shimmered in its depths. Aurora paused and gestured toward the pond. "Look," she whispered. Lumen gazed at the reflection and noticed how the faintest stars still added to the beauty of the night sky's mirror image. "Do you see how every star, no matter how small, contributes to the splendor of the night?" Aurora continued. "Your light is like those stars, subtle but no less important." He looked at her, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "But how can such a gentle light make a difference among so many brilliant ones?" Aurora chuckled softly. Sometimes it's the gentle lights that bring the most comfort. Your glow has a soothing quality that others don't possess. Never underestimate the power of your own unique light. As they made their way back, Lumen pondered her words. The festival was reaching its peak, and the fireflies began their synchronized display, their lights pulsing in complex patterns. The spectacle was dazzling, but to Lumen it seemed almost overwhelming. Just then, a cloud drifted across the moon, and a sudden gust of wind swept through the meadow. The towering willow tree at the center of the gathering groaned as a large branch, weakened by time, began to crack. Below, unaware of the impending danger, the young fireflies continued their dance. Lumen gasped, his eyes widening in alarm. "Spark! Blaze! Watch out!" he shouted with a voice tinged with urgency. But his small voice was lost amidst the laughter and the buzzing of wings. Without a second thought, Lumen surged forward, his wings beating furiously. He flew straight toward the old willow, his gentle light wavering but determined. Hovering close to the broken branch, Lumen focused all his energy on his glow. He closed his eyes, recalling Aurora's words, and let the warmth in his heart flow through him. His light began to pulse with a steady, soothing rhythm, casting a soft glow over the wavering branch. Down below, the other fireflies noticed the unusual glow. Spark looked up and exclaimed, "Look! It's Lumen! What's he doing up there?" Blaze squinted, his bright light dimming in confusion. "What's going on?" Aurora's voice echoed across the meadow. "Quiet, everyone! Listen to the rhythm of his light." The fireflies fell silent, their gazes fixed on Lumen. As they watched, they felt a calmness wash over them, guided by the gentle pulsing of Lumen's glow. One by one, they began to match their own lights to his rhythm, creating a harmonious dance of luminosity. Suddenly, the branch gave way, but instead of crashing down, it seemed to settle gently onto the ground, cushioned by the collective glow of the fireflies. The danger had passed, and a hush fell over the meadow. Lumen opened his eyes, surprised to find himself surrounded by his peers, their faces filled with gratitude and awe. Spark flew up to him, his eyes shining. "Lumen, that was incredible! You saved us!" Blaze approached slowly, his usual bravado replaced with humility. "I'm sorry for what I said before," he stammered, his tone sincere. "Your light is. It's remarkable." Aurora glided toward them, her wise eyes twinkling softly. "You see, Lumen? Your gentle light brought everyone together when it mattered most." Lumen smiled shyly. "I just wanted to help," he said quietly. The elder fireflies gathered around, their voices murmuring in agreement. One of them, a dignified firefly named Lumos, cleared his throat. "Lumen," he began with a respectful nod, "your light may not be the brightest, but it possesses a unique strength. Calmed the winds and guided us when we needed it the most." Another elder added, "We would be honored if you would lead the closing ceremony of the festival." Lumen's eyes widened in surprise. "Me? Lead the ceremony?" he echoed, his voice scarcely believing. Aurora placed a gentle wing on his shoulder. "Yes, dear one. Your light has shown us the beauty of gentleness and unity." As the festival drew to a close, Lumen took his place at the center of the meadow. The night was clear now, the earlier clouds having drifted away to reveal a tapestry of stars. The other fireflies formed a circle around him, their lights dimmed slightly so that his gentle glow could shine. Taking a deep breath, Lumen began to pulse his light in a soothing rhythm. The fireflies followed, their collective glow ebbing and flowing like the tides of a peaceful sea. The meadow was awash with a luminescence that was both mesmerizing and serene. The creatures of the night, rabbits, deer, and even the shy owls, gathered at the edges of the meadow drawn by the enchanting display. The air was filled with a sense of harmony and tranquility that touched every heart present. As the final pulses of light faded into the soft embrace of the night, the fireflies settled gently onto the swaying grasses and petals. A contented silence settled over the meadow. Spark nudged Lumen playfully. "You were amazing," he whispered. "I always knew you had something special inside you." Lumen blushed, his light flickering modestly. "Thank you, Spark. I couldn't have done it without everyone's support." Blaze approached once more, his head bowed slightly. "Lumen, I hope you can forgive me for earlier," he said earnestly. "I was wrong to judge you by the brightness of your glow." Lumen smiled warmly. "It's okay, Blaze. I'm just glad we could all come together." Aurora watched the exchange with a satisfied nod. Turning to the gathered crowd, she addressed them in a gentle tone. "Let tonight be a reminder to us all. It's not the brilliance of our light that defines us, but the goodness within our hearts and how we use our gifts to help others." The meadow inhabitants murmured in agreement, the lesson resonating deeply within them. As the night wore on, the fireflies nestled into the petals of flowers and the comforting arms of leaves, their lights dimming to a restful glow. Lumen settled onto a soft bed of clover beside Spark. Looking up at the twinkling stars, he felt peace envelop him. "It's been quite a night," he said softly. "Indeed it has," Spark replied with a yawn. "And all because you embraced who you are." Lumen nodded thoughtfully. "I guess sometimes it takes a special moment to realize that what makes us different also makes us special." As they drifted off to sleep, the meadow sighed gently, cradling its tiny guardians. The night wrapped around them like a warm blanket, filled with the whispers of leaves and the distant song of a nightingale. From that day forward, Lumen was celebrated not just for his gentle light, but for the kindness and courage that shone from within him. The other fireflies learned to appreciate the unique qualities each of them possessed, understanding that together their individual lights created something truly magical. And so the gentle glow of Lumen became a beacon of harmony in the meadow, a reminder that every light, no matter how subtle, has the power to brighten the world in its own special way. The moral of the story is that true strength and beauty come from embracing our unique qualities and using them to help others. Just like Lumen, we all have something special within us that can make a difference. When we appreciate and support one another, our combined light can create a brighter, more harmonious world.